Hello, this is Greg Allison from Green Greg's Garden and Worm Farm, coming to you on the 30th of April 2020, the last day of April. And I'm going to talk to you about food shortages and food prices, the things that are leading to our new food crises. As you know, and have been seeing on the internet in several places, that we're pouring milk in the ground by thousands of gallons. We're plowing under vegetables in Florida, in Idaho, and many other places. What's happening? Why are these things happening? We're actually killing animals because they're not going to market or they don't have the feed. This has happened in China, it's happened in the United States. Some people are asking why, and part was meat packing plants were closed. Well, now a lot of meat packing plants have been ordered to reopen. But some of those meat packing plants are going to specialize in euthanasia of animals. At least that's what I'm told. And while we're shutting down our beef industry, we're importing beef all at once from Namibia. Really? Holy smoke, guys, what's going on? There's a lot of things happening here. For one, I bought chicken in a grocery store, a chicken breast a few days ago, and I paid beef prices for chicken. And it's like, come on, food prices are going up, and there are some scarcities. There are right now pocket scarcities of various things. Well, you know, what's behind this? Well, the supply chain is breaking down. Well, they're breaking down the supply chain, a lot of things happen. Now, that's one of the things. We're going to get into a number of things here. A lot of the food went straight to the restaurant industry. There's a whole supply chain that's geared up solely to supply restaurants. That supply chain is not at all geared up toward grocery stores where you and I go buy food on a regular basis. So, well, the restaurants have been out of business. There was a huge excess of food, and it wasn't a readily thing just to shift one to the other. Supply chains are kind of complicated. It just don't work that fast. So we've lost a lot of food. Now you may go, okay, well, we still got grocery store food. Yeah, but you were eating a lot more food in restaurants. So you've got to take more of your food from the grocery stores, and their supply chains are not quite as robust. So there is a disruption. There is a problem there. Furthermore, a bigger problem is when people start euthanizing animals, you cut short future supplies. What does that bode for what you're going to have next year, the year after? And there are those who, they like this because they have lab-grown meat. They want you to eat their lab-grown meat or to import meat from somewhere else for a couple of different reasons. One's because certain individuals have invested highly in lab-grown meats and things like that, and they want their money for that. They claim it's better. How do you know what you're getting in their frankenfood? Do you want to eat their frankenfood? I want nothing to do with it. So think about who they are. There are various different companies, but some of them have, the two biggest companies that would ordinarily be competitors, right, have common investors. And one of those investors is a nice, sweet-talking guy named Bill Gates. What do you think? Interesting. So, there you go. Is he the savior or is he the devil? You figure for yourself. But the thing is, I don't want to buy frankenfood. Do you want to eat frankenfood? What is that mess? Grown in a lab. Holy smoke. You know, they give us so many other things that's so good for us, right? Yeah. Okay. All that said, my friends, I'll tell you this, you vote with your dollars. That's one of the key things I've been putting out here lately. When you spend $1, you vote for whatever it is you buy. You vote for that to be in the supply and not the other thing. So you're going to see more of that. The more dollars you spend on something, the more of that comes around. Here's what I tell you, vote with your dollars for your local producers, your local farmers. Because see, I think this whole thing is partially to put them out of business. They don't want independent businesses. They don't want the small guy. They don't want local people. They want everyone to be on the dole to someone else. They don't want you to have any independence, any sovereignty. Let's push back. Let's go for sovereignty. Let's maximize it. Let's go for regionalization. Let's break globalization. Let's go for supporting your neighbors, your friends, your families, the people in your communities. And that's why we need to develop our tribes so we can have a tribal economy that we can link together and trade amongst each other and outside their system so we can survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. That is what I propose to this channel. That's what I tell you we're all about. My goal is to help you to survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. And that venue I'm going to talk some more about this. I'm not done. I'm just getting started. But please, if you trust what I'm saying, support my channel. Many ways to begin by subscribing if you're not already subscribed. If you did, check to make sure you're still subscribed, because certain algorithms are notorious for unsubscribing people. Make sure you're still banged on the notification bell. If not, bang the notification bell. Bang the bell. And then click all for notifications. That way you'll get notifications for the programs I put out here. Because I'm going to cover a lot more stuff on this. So I stand here next to my blackberry patch. Ain't like that. So, other ways to support my channel is go to prepwithgreg.com. It's still a good time to get long-term food storage. It's still relatively cheap. There's some waiting on some of it. Some things are running out of supply, but it's still a good time to get it. Get it while you can, while the prices are still somewhat affordable. Prepwithgreg.com is a link to my Patriot Supply. And once you get in there through that link, you will find also other prepping supplies that you ought to pay some attention to. Might be really good for you, especially anything with purifying, sanitizing water, things that you would use to live out in the woods. Also, you need to plant a garden. You really need to grow your own food. Pay attention to that now more than ever. This is what this video is about. Food prices going up, food availability going down, and you're getting food that you don't know what it is. Sure, there'll be some food in the grocery stores. You'll pay more money for it. It's not going to be as nutritive, probably, and you don't know what's in it. Grow food that you know what's in. Grow food that you know how nutritious it is, because you're using nice organic supplies, because you're using minerals and rock dust and worm castings to grow your food, compost, things like that. I have temporarily stood down my worm website because I've got some personal problems I just have to deal with, and I got some things I need to reset and rework on that. So give me time, I'll bring it back, and when I do, rest assured you can buy worms from me, and that'll definitely help you with your gardening. And that'll be www.greengregs.com. Okay, enough with all the commercials. Back to the topic. So, what you may not know is that the UN, I'm going to tour you the blackberries and a few other things. We'll end this on a positive note. But before we go there, let's just finish this. Even the UN has got on board with this. So David Beasley, who's executive director of the World Food Program, he's come out and said that there's a lot of nations at risk. In fact, they've already identified 55 countries that are on the brink of famine. And this is because of many things, such as, he blames it all on the recent outbreak, the pandemic, but he also does mention and give credit to floods. Well, had been droughts and then floods, like the Horn of Africa, which has just been drenched with water. The Horn of Africa, incidentally, is Somalia and Ethiopia. But they're having floods. They go, oh, water, they can plant more. Remember my video I did a while back about late season crop planting because everything being flooded out? I'll return to that in a minute. But another problem with that in Africa and other places over there is locusts. Just what happens when you get a lot of water and some plants start growing, you get more locusts. And if you can't get in the fields and plant, plants will still grow, natural plants will. They don't need tractors to plant them, they're coming up. And that spurs locusts, and they're having huge locust outbreaks. The worst locust outbreak in 25 years right now is ongoing. And that locust outbreak is threatening food supplies in the Mideast, in Asia, and Africa. Maybe it'll go into China and other places. These locusts are terrible. They've got quite a while to ravage now. They've already got started. And who knows how long that will run. We have biblical plagues. And that's what David Beasley was actually referring to. He said famines of biblical proportions. Interesting language coming out of the UN, right? Anyway, so think about that. And wars are also an impact. Right now, a lot of these countries are being stressed by war. The 55 nations listed, the top nations are ones who probably have at the core of their problem being warfare. Yemen, Congo, Afghanistan, and of course, oil-rich countries like Venezuela and Nigeria. Now, I don't know Nigeria being at war, maybe there is something going on down there, but of course oil prices are down. But still, Venezuela, Nigeria, they should never have the problems we're having. Nigeria, mainly because of a corrupt government. Venezuela, same thing, communism, right? Also Sudan, South Sudan, Syria, of course we know Syria is affected by war. Haiti is the perpetual poorest country on earth, it seems like. And the list goes on and on and on. A lot of countries are just plagued with problems. But you know, let me go back. 2 years ago, no, a year ago, I was putting out videos. I didn't have a channel 2 years ago. A year ago, I was putting out channels in the spring, about this time, telling you we were going to have huge food shortages just because of all the late season rain. And I predicted early season frost. Well, the late season rain came in, we had the early season frost, and we got the late season rains again. Greg, it's just weather. Well, let me tell you, Greg's gonna tell you this. I predicted it. How did I do that? Because I know something called a grand solar minimum. My friends, it affects the world by causing cloud nucleation to increase. Cosmic rays, the sun fields are weaker. Galactic cosmic rays come in closer. As they go into the atmosphere and collide with atoms in our upper atmosphere, what happens? They cause a cascade of particles, radioactive particles, secondary particles, come out from the atoms they hit, and it leaves ionization trails through the atmosphere that causes more cloud nucleation. I don't know if y'all can see the moon in this poor quality video. But there you are, cloud nucleation. Clouds, clouds, rain, rain, rain. Makes it hard for the tractors to get in the field. And I just did a video on that. I'm standing in the middle of my road being flooded out with so much water. This is the end of April. In my area, there should be a lot of crops in the field, and the tractors are not out there yet. They've not harvested the winter wheat, and they're not planting yet because the fields are still wet, and they're going to be wet for a few weeks. The planting will be later. Farmers in some places are going to suffer more than others. Farmers around the coast where you get hit by hurricanes, which happened a lot last spring, are going to suffer. Farmers that up in the Midwest and Canadian Shield, where they're going to have early season frost and snows like they did last year, they still have crops from last summer, still in the ground, and a lot of that's been plowed underground now, are going to suffer. Actually, farmers in my area did pretty well in terms of harvest right here. This happened to be one of the better areas for modern monoculture agriculture. I did a video asking, could modern monoculture agriculture be sustained? And my answer was, don't look good. Yeah, there are certain areas that'll be stronger in. This is one of them. Farmers here were doing good. But what killed the farmers here was the USDA projected huge record crop yields, and so they never really got the money for their crops that they probably should have gotten. Traders got that money, so it didn't help the farmers, it helped the traders. Go figure. The traders always seem to come ahead. So the farmers get it any way they turn, everywhere they're at, it seems. So if you want to farm, the best thing you can do is learn how to do niche farming, grow niche crops, grow fresh fruits and vegetables, do stuff on the smaller scale, small plot intensive agriculture. Let's go back local. Let's localize things more and more. I'm concerned about our power grid. If the power grid fails, all these large farms are going to fail. They're going to fail really fast because they're not going to be able to get the fuel to run their tractors. They're not going to be able to get spare parts to run their tractors. Parts are an issue now, given a lot of manufacturing has shut down. That may hamper crops all around the world because a lot of things just got shut down. A lot of things are behind, and that affects food planting, growing, scheduling. In America, food harvesting may be a problem with borders shut down, because we don't want people traveling around too much, spreading certain things. So that's going to be a challenge to you getting food. Other challenges, well, so we talked climate. We've talked grand solar minimum, which is in and of itself a huge problem. We've talked disruptions due to the local pandemic. We've talked direct food production and harvesting disruptions. I've talked in the past even about parts that are needed to keep everything running in the industry, and them having issues disrupting food processing, packaging, delivery. All these things are a challenge. And even though some plants will be reopened, a lot of people just aren't going to return and stand in a line of people. I've hung live chickens in a chicken plant, and we all stood shoulder to shoulder doing that when I was 18 years old. Right out of high school. Boy, that was the nastiest, dirtiest job I ever done in my life. I'd rather be digging ditches, and I've done that too. And foxholes. I've been in the military, so I've kind of been around. Done a lot of things. Yeah, hanging live chickens was the nastiest job I ever done. Don't even hire an American to do that job these days. Hey, even in 1978, when There were a lot of Americans that were real happy to have a job and work. In 3 days, I was halfway up the seniority roster out of 20-something people. You can go figure that. So there you are. So think about it. With all the different things that are hitting us, you see in the grocery store now a lot of stuff missing on the shelves. It's not all due to hoarding. Some of it is. Yeah, some of it is. But it's due to a lot of things. It's just a disruption, plants being shut down. And when they bring the economy back online, how long will it stay online? How many people are willing to return back on work? What happens when the second wave breaks out? There's just a lot of logistical issues, a lot of supply chain issues. And some of them won't be resolved in time to get the food production right, to get the harvesting right. And then there's this whole business of what they're doing with the animals. So yeah, this don't look good. It's not pretty. Do expect food shortages, especially of critical things. In a lot of countries there will be famines. In the United States there will be food available. It may not be what you want to eat. It may not be the best thing to eat, but there will be food. But it may also be at a price. Again, the best thing you can do is grow your own food. That's the first best thing. The second best thing you can do is buy local. Support your local farmers. Keep them going. Keep them going. Because if the power grid goes down, they're the best ones to help you. Because they hopefully are planting with heirloom seeds. Yeah, see, the big farms buy seed. They're by contract, have to buy their seed every year from the big companies. The Bayer, who's bought out Monsanto, and companies like that. And a lot of those seeds are hybrid. They wouldn't grow the same plant back if they did keep them. And then how are they going to run the tractors without the fuel, without the parts? Ooh, they'll make fuel. Well, maybe, but you can't make all the parts. So there's just a lot of issues. What's going to happen is those farms are going to lie fallow. Then people are really going to starve if the grid goes down. I've got some real concerns about the power grid. I've done a lot of videos on that, and I will do more on that topic. All right, so let's be on a cheerier note. Mother Nature does provide. And I'm standing right in the middle of a food forest, amongst the bushes. Check this out. Blackberry bushes. Aren't they pretty? It's kind of a cool spell. We're having a blackberry winter. I see a bee over there, honeybee. There's some bumblebees, all busy pollinating. And there's some honeybees again. Get in here. Hey, little busy bee. Now my screen is blanked out. I don't know what you can really see in here. So, well, and guess what? I'll show you some bees in a minute. Of course, I'll show you bees. And I'll show you trees. You can eat from these trees. I've done a video on that. Cutting down a little tree like this to show you need to cambium. The soft inner bark is edible on a pine tree. In the limbs and even in the roots. So, wow, there's a wealth of food right here I could eat for a long time. That's right. Blackberries, extremely good for you. On the ground here, growing. We've been running over them with some raspberries. So let's look at this. Bees. No, I didn't start beehives. I'm too busy. But I let a friend bring them here. I let a friend bring beehives. Now we'll do some videos with him. We will be covering bees really soon. Nice, sweet, tame European honeybees. Yeah, I wouldn't be standing near the hives if these were the Africanized hybrid versions. These are nice, sweet bees. And you can probably walk up and lean on the hive and it probably wouldn't bother you, but I'm not going to get that bold today. And of course, wood hinge. For those that don't know, here's a wild edible I should do a video on. Sassafras. You know sassafras? You ever heard of sassafras tea? Root beer? Root beer made from the roots of the sassafras. Look at all that moss. And that is sweet gum. I've done a video on making Tamiflu from sweet gums. Sweet gums. And the sweet gums are kind of an aggravating tree. There's a big tall sassafras up there. Alright, now isn't that pretty? It's always good to end on a high note because nature provides if you know how to utilize it and take advantage of it. That is wild lettuce. So we'll have to talk about wild lettuce again in the not too distant future. There's a wild lettuce here. Actually, I don't believe I've covered wild lettuce, have I? That'd make a good discussion. So, my friends, don't panic. Don't ever panic. Keep your chin up. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Be prepared. But just know, there's a lot of things going on in the world today. Lots and lots of things. I did a video talking about things going on in Iran. I'm going to talk some more to you about China. There's a lot to be concerned in that department. I'm going to talk to you some more about wild edibles. I'll talk to you more about gardening. A lot of things coming up. I'll talk to you more about the power grid. I'll talk to you more about the pandemic, things going around. Things that you need to know to stay prepared. Just always remember, keep your eyes wide open and head on the swivel. It's coming at us from every direction. But there is some good news. There is some good news. I hear there's some rollbacks on mandatory, what do you call it? Let's say injections, if you know what I mean. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to trigger everything, but you know what I mean. So I got wild deer running around here. There's worm beds in these woods. Yes, and there are some worms there. I'm just going to have to wait a little bit for harvesting them. I'm going to get back and upload this video. So I just want to spend a little bit to let you know. I'm going to still continue to do videos. I'm still going to keep you informed. We're still going to have some live sessions every now and then because we need it at this time. Here, that's probably either wild hickory nut or walnut. I think it's a wild walnut. Come up here. And I do have sumac growing over there, and I have wild elderberry. Greenhouse is still here, and I got a lot of work to do in the garden. I just completed a big shipment of worms last week. Probably my biggest shipment yet. Even though we shut down 2 days early, it was a ginormous shipment. So I spent the whole weekend doing that. I've been working from home during the week. This is my lunch break today. A little late lunch break. Just come out here and share a few minutes with you. But I've got a lot of work to do in this garden to get it planted out. Got some planted out already. Bees love the flowers. Got some worms in these worm beds, ones that's covered over. Got a lot of garlic growing. New turmeric in the ground. Old turmeric dug up. So the adventure continues. There'll be a lot more to cover and report on here. A lot more to talk about. So stay tuned. And I heartily thank you for watching.